and welcome to episode 40 of Snap on This, a Marvel Snap podcast. I'm your host, LaurenWhatevs, here with the usual amazing co-hosts. First up, Ben, how was your week in Snap? And keep it snappy.
Well, my week in Snap, I shall endeavor to keep snappy, as I so often do. I did get to InfiNOT. What was I playing to get there? I was playing some pretty standard stuff. Let's see, I got to scroll past my Elixir decks here. I was using that Silver Surfer deck with the awareness of the Thanos. I've got Killmonger and stuff. Oh, but I have already reverted it to Esme Cuckoo. I wasn't sure if I remembered to do that. Haven't really played it much since I hit InfiNOT because I've been doing Elixir stuff. But yeah, mostly been playing Surfer and Heimdall and doing Elixir science stuff. And what else happened? I've got bad news about the Cornballer in the Bazaar. It's fucking mid. It's deeply mid.
No!
Oh no, it's disappointing. Unlike advertised.
Here's the thing. I kind of love the mid items because the two good things are not exciting. And I love these because of the roguelike sort of nature of the thing, and it's sort of like limited play where just because a thing is kind of bad doesn't mean it's not the right thing sometimes. So I have gotten to use the Cornballer a little bit. It's just that Pygmalion has better burn items and better multicast items, and the Cornballer is really just not the best at anything of the tools available to that character. So that's a little disappointing, but I have gotten to use it and it has been fun. And when it works, it does do good things. It's like a real 2 out of 4 to use our rating system. So that's fine. Also, I realized that last week I did not do a great job of articulating the Fantastic Four plot as it exists in my mind. After Galactus would destroy their world, I'm imagining a lot of fish out of water comedy in the regular Marvel universe, because the Fantastic Four are so Technicolor and gee whiz and all that stuff. And I guess a lot of the struggle, a lot of the conflict of the film is that nobody wants to take them seriously with their Chicken Little, the sky is falling, Galactus is coming shit, because they're just so profoundly corny. And that sort of makes it hard to take them seriously. And it would also be the source of great comedy, I imagine. In my imagining of the Fantastic Four film, that would be the thing. I listened to myself try to describe what I was imagining. I was like, wow, you did not explain yourself very well. Anywho, other than that, I played Elixir stuff, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. Anything else exciting? I did sign up for the tournament. I attempted to register for the upcoming tournament. We will find out if I got in, because this may not be obvious to the listeners, but I'm not a part of the content creator program from Second Dinner, because I, like the Doughboys, can't be bought. That's right. I'm a fierce independent voice, and that's why you can trust what I'm speaking, because it's truth to power all day long, baby.
I'm sorry, if I signed up, I could have gotten you in for free, guaranted, but I'm not.
That's all right. That's all right.
Oh, I could be bought. But when I applied, they didn't even answer at all. They didn't. Not even a rejection. So it's
all right. Well, for me, it's all principle all day long.
You're not going to take that 2,000 free gold a month?
No.
What would you spend it on? Variants?
I don't know, but I just want people to know that my voice and my words and opinions uncompromised. Retweets are endorsements. I don't know. No, they aren't.
Look, I'm part of the official creator program, but I also alerted the public to the split bug, so I think I've probably cost. Oh no,
Lauren, you are absolutely on the side of the players all day long. I know that you're not muzzled by these corporate ingots that show up monthly in your account. Lauren can't be bought for
Prometheus
of
against
any in-game currency, any of them.
Second Dinner Zeus.
Okay, I'm glad this is recognized. Is that the end of your week?
Yeah, that's my weekend Snap.
Ree!
I signed up for the tournament. Maybe I'll be in there. Who knows?
I hope so. I would love to see you compete. Ree, how was your week in Snap? And keep it snappy.
Okay. I decided for my week in Snap, I would like to invoke the ancient and fictitious Snap on this tradition of birthday rite, which I see by your confused faces, not knowing the history. Our long-established cult. That's right, it was my birthday yesterday. So today, I decided I get to tell a story of my choosing rather than anything related to Snap.
Oh my
It's like, Snap is mostly just Thanos, as Ben said, Thanos awareness.
Can I do one? I had one 10 days ago.
Yes, invoke the right of birthdays.
All right, but Ree can go first because I didn't know about it until now. And
No,
the only
it's
thing
okay.
I have was a correction to something I said or a clarification. So your story will be much more interesting and probably birthday-like. Tell me your birthday.
It's not that birthday. I debated. I had several stories. Some were more birthday related. Okay, but this one, I have decided to bring you a tale of American soccer from the heartland. I'm going to tell the tale of Hell is Real, which is the Cincinnati versus Columbus match yearly. So I
think Ree froze.
I think so
dread this
too.
match. Okay, let me start with Ohio. So that's where I live, the state of Ohio. We used to be known as the heartland of it all. Now we're more known for the lack of quality assurance of the politicians we send in a federal way, sadly. But maybe unknown to a lot of Americans, we also have in recent years, two of the best soccer teams, which is Columbus and Cincinnati. And their match every year is like hyped up because they're supposed to be a major rivalry, and it's called Hell is Real. And I always dread it. And you may be like, why, Ree, do you always dread it? And it's like, well, the answer is, let me flip that back on you. And why must we hate our neighbors? Because they're a different city. So, it's like, because my view, it's like, oh, but they we're all from Ohio. Can't we all get along and support each other? And the answer is no. Because they juked this up because this needs to be the big main rivalry. It's as if the hound turned to the fox and said, we must hate each other for sports ratings. And the fox says, oh, I understand completely. Praise be capitalism. So it always gets really nasty because, obviously it's intrastate, so a lot of away fans can come. For some reason, it's Ohio and weird and rural, so things get kind of nasty sometimes when they're hyped up. So it's I don't like that kind of attitude. Also, big crowds make me nervous anyway. I was attending the match in person. That's hard. My hair, of which the magic does not revolve around, my Columbus Crew fandom, is blue, which is one of Cincinnati's colors. And I was like, that'll be fun to go into the stadium with. So for all of these reasons, I was very nervously entering the stadium, dreading the. It wasn't so bad this year because it was chilly, but they always have they roll out these big flame things for Hell is Real, and it blasts you, even if it's 90 degrees in the stadium. It's horrible. Okay, so I get in, I'm pretty nervous, and I'm like, what is? They're like, okay, we have a special presentation for you before the game. And out, this is American soccer. Okay, so out from the doors into the stadium, the entrance, comes a line of black-robed figures, okay? Black robes, big, pointy hats, and, druid-esque, basically. And they're all walking with their arms behind their backs and their heads down in a long line. They're following. I'm like, what? It's happening. It's the wizard memes aren't just in my head anymore. What the fuck? It's the point where you're like, have I lost it? No, this is soccer. So they walk the whole perimeter around, and I am so worried at this point because in high school, we have at one of our spirit rallies, there was the literal torture and then burning of a voodoo doll that was to represent the other team. So like sometimes things get dark. Like Shirley Jackson's The Lottery, if that was a story you've had to read over and over for school, feels real sometimes. like things get dark in the cornfields. So this was where I was worried. I'm like, what are they doing? Are we burning a statue of Cincinnati? I'm really, worried. We already had unfurled the banner of all our star players that we've all sold away. And so they file up, right? And they line up. And then, these road figures launch in to a completely small choral group a cappella version of some pop song about hell. I don't remember
what?
Which one. I recognize it. Yes. And they start singing. It's the doo-wah, the actual real all a cappella. And over the course, it's I see in their robes, and it's they're smiling, they're having a good time. And it's this isn't so bad. I was so worried about what weird ritualistic thing we were going to do to engender our unnaturalistic and unwarranted hatred of people from another city. And instead it's no, it's this kind of happy song, even though it's about hell. And by the end, they all take off their hoods and they're smiling at each other and arms around, and it's really happy. And I was it's all going to be okay, over the course of this song. And this may actually be a good time to mention that because of my aforementioned really nervousness of crowds and etc., I thought it was a good idea to take some like special gummies at the start of the batch. And I'm not a person where like numbers stick in my head at all. So like, you know, whatever, you know, like 2 gummies sounds about right. But what I did learn was that of these gummies, these particular gummies, 2 gummies was a level of gumminess that we would never choose to be publicly, ever at all. And so we are kind of sitting there like, shh, no one can tell. Just, you know, maybe your eyes are red, but it's fine. Everyone's watching the game. The wizard people are here. It's okay. Okay. So that is to preface how we went into halftime. Where this is insane. Once again, this is American soccer. Halftime, like, we have another special presentation for you. We have Columbus's renowned speed painter. And, I forget her. I'm so embarrassed. I should have looked up her name before the podcast. You think, like, I prep harder for these, but I really don't. I'm just gonna go. Okay. And, I was like, whoa! Like, we have a renowned speed painter. Speed painting is like a thing outside of like YouTube videos that explain things, you know, like a lot of new information happening for me at once. And this woman walks up, and I have no idea because, you know, she was kind of alone, and so I have no relative, but she looked very tall. And she was like extremely like Barbie-esque. She had beautiful hair. She was wearing a bodysuit, completely glittering, like just covered in like crystals. And she is just sparkling like a disco Barbie. And she is wearing extremely tall heels. Like I'm a wedge girl. I'll wear super high platform wedges all day, but not just the heel. No, just the heels. That is what she is wearing. Okay. Walks up to this huge canvas, and they set the timer. It's like the halftime timer, and she starts painting. And not only does she paint, she occasionally like stops and dances. And it's like this whole thing is a huge performance. And it is just like, I'm like, what is happening? This is amazing. And then, okay, so she's painting, and it's so impressive. It's like a skull with a skull that's on fire. I was going to say it's like its hair is fire or something. It's on fire. The skull is on fire. It's wearing a crew jersey, and it's got like 2 guns because I'm sorry, we're America. And like, you know, like pointing off into the distance. And I'm like, wow, this is so good. She did this so fast. And she's like in these super heels, which are insanely hard to move. And she's dancing and she's like a part. And I just hope she knows how much, like, I don't know, like, if I just want to be her or be around her. She's amazing. And like, and then, okay, she stops and she like saunters out. And I'm like, okay, she's done. Oh, good job. It's so good. It looks so good. And then she hoists her canvas up and she flips and she's spinning it around like a sign spinner. And I'm like, whoa, are we getting a whole other part of, like, what is happening? She flips it back down and this blew my fucking mind. With the help of drugs, but it was still amazing. The whole time she had been painting upside down. What she was really painting was the classic, oldest crew logo of 3 construction workers with construction tools being very construction poses, the crew, and I was just like, whoa! I was like a 6-year-old, like seeing magic for the first time. And I was so amazed. Oh, yes. Okay. And then the game was like a 1-1 tie. But you know what they say? Sometimes the most interesting soccer ends in a tie. So I was thinking, I could not stop thinking about this lady the whole second half. It was hard for me to pay attention because like, one, it's just like, I didn't know any of this existed in this world of like AI, you know what I mean? Doing all this stuff. And, what people are relying on more and more, it's like humans are still capable of amazing things really fast and having the imagination to put together like painting and dance and like, I don't know, Barbie beauty into like a whole performance that I didn't know was a thing that could exist before I saw this, And it's like, so for like my birthday, I would wish that we can all live half so gloriously as this woman who's like living her dream, speed painting at halftime soccer shows. She was incredible. So that is the story of Hell is Real. Columbus versus Cincinnati soccer match.
Sounds like the perfect amount of gummies, actually.
Well,
maybe.
I skipped all the like insane paranoia.
I feel like there was some freaking out that did not make it into the story, perhaps.
Fair.
It wasn't vital.
To be able to capture that joy, though.
So I won't lie. Sometimes when we are telling stories, we skip over, the lower points so that the narrative may be lifted and everyone may believe that everything is perfect at all times.
I choose to believe it was the correct amount of gummies.
Yes. Okay.
I hope so.
Thank you for indulging me. I mean, respecting my invocation of birthday right. I would like to pass the snap on this baton.
Wait, I gotta squeeze in my birthday thing.
To Ben for Ben's birthday.
All right. I feel like maybe I didn't make it super clear the reason why it's relevant that I can't be bought and I'm an independent voice and just a gaming journalist for the people in all my dealings. It's because like there are 2 ways to get into this Marvel Snap tournament, the big official one, and like you can either be like in the creator program or a +1 of a creator program person. So like maybe you could have inferred from Lauren's remark that that's what's up. But I was just like, I don't think I connected the dots very clearly for people. That's why I mentioned that I am not in the creator program, and so I have to raffle my way in like the rest of the common like folk, the rabble. Exactly.
Right. That's the perfect beginning to the story. You have to start at the bottom.
It's too late. So I told you about it too late if you haven't signed up yet. So sorry.
We brought it up I don't know, a week or 2 ago. It's fine.
Thing. Yeah, I guess. I guess I warned people, but I still feel bad that I didn't raise awareness as loudly as I could have. Anywho, I was just going to clarify that thing. I don't have a great story of a time I took too many gummies. Mostly I take the right amount of gummies. That's my strategy.
Oh man, one gummy is too much for me.
Well, I'll leave you all to speculate on what the right amount of gummies is. But yeah, Lauren, I'd love to hear about your weekend snap.
My weekend snap. It's just going to be a weird weekend snap and maybe a weird episode in general. Or maybe that's an egotistical point of view. This is the lightest week of Snap since I started playing.
Wowzers.
Yeah, I think I missed like 1, 2 or 3 sets of daily missions. Not full sets, but like, 2 missions.
It's a good break.
As a set. That what you get on an 8-hour basis. I think I burned, I could have made it less complicated by not using sets. I think I burned 4 to 6 daily missions by just not playing enough to keep up with them. And it's been kind of a weird experience. Maybe it's like eye-opening to the casual or free-to-play player because I used to play so aggressively or so often. I was like, how can you not finish the conquest shop? How can you not easily hit, season level 65 or whatever? And I don't know, like the idea of burning missions is it's not the first time I've done it, but it's the first time I've burned so many within a single week. So yeah, I had a terrible dog walk. The walk itself was great. I probably shouldn't say that word. He's asleep. I played Clog, which I've talked about the past few times. I didn't win a single match. It's probably like 15 games. Like that's a bad run. Like, oh, maybe its time is done. I don't think it is done. Flamser in our Discord made it to Infinite using that deck. So I've had success with it against Thanos. So I don't know what's going on. I forgot how to play Snap. Maybe. Anyway,
you snap and you never retreat. It's the only way. This is the way.
I was actually snapping a lot. I was like, fuck it. I don't care. It's turn 1. I haven't seen my hand or what the first location is. Snap. Maybe this sounds fun. Maybe I'll play better if the stakes are increased. No, don't do that. It's like every season when you've been playing silly. Okay. Maybe this isn't an experience for everybody. This is an experience for me. I play silly often once I hit Infinite, or like if I'm not chasing an Infinity avatar. And then when the season restarts and all of a sudden I need to be climbing again, I'm still playing silly and I like have to shake myself out of the mode. I'm like, no, we're not doing this anymore. We're trying to play some serious Snap here. We have to retreat smart. We have to snap smart. And sometimes that's an adjustment period.
I get overconfident. Because mine it's like, I always get Infinite, and I used to get it really quickly, so I just do whatever. I'll brew crazy, stupid meme decks on ladder, and it's like coming back to bite me, because it's like, I'm not Infinite this season yet.
Mm-hmm.
Let's play time, though.
And you got, what, a week and a half? 2 weeks?
Yeah, you got time.
Is it already almost the end? I was like, but it's only like the second week of the season.
I mean,
okay.
Next week is the last week.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I guess I better.
Is there going to be some sort of limited time? Are we showing down in the Sanctum again?
Nope.
No?
We'll talk about it a little more later, but that global bounty is the limited time event.
Got it.
Cool.
There's no special game mode this month. There is no extra card.
But yeah, I'm super with you on the missions, Lauren. Just recently, I don't know, like I didn't make a conscious decision, but like my policy has changed and I no longer lift a finger or change anything about my play habits for weekend missions if I wasn't playing those cards in a deck. I mean, like, I guess I go for the tokens. I will play the new card for the tokens because it's just like 4 games, but like I'm not playing season pass cards I'm not in the mood to play. Sorry.
8 games. The season pass card has been the tokens the last 2 weeks.
That's
has weird.
It? Mm-hmm. Oh, well, I guess I got the season pass card, but like if it's the new card, I've been like leaving gold on the table and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, it's weird. They swapped the new card and they swapped the golden tokens. So now the season pass card is the tokens and the new card is the gold. It's chaos.
I like that.
I've been ignoring them so hard. I don't think I noticed.
I haven't burned weekend missions yet, but I've definitely I've burned credits on the 8-hour refresh too. The free credits you get, I've burned a few of those. And I'm
the 8-hour refresh is ridiculous, and I refuse to. I mean, like I'll pick them up when I log in, but like I'm not logging in every 8 hours to get 25 credits. You absolute like goofballs. What are you doing? What do you think you're doing? Honestly, I don't know. I don't like that 8-hour nonsense.
Why is it only credits? I guess it's the token shop that rotates too. But I don't know. Give me a better reason to log in every 8 hours.
Yeah, let me ignore the game for more than 8 hours at a time. You're being ridiculous, Marble Snap.
I think both of
once
those.
a day is plenty.
I think let me save up my shit so I can just do once a day. But also, if you want me in there every 8 hours, make it worth my while. Yeah,
but you shouldn't want me in there every 8 hours. Don't want me in there every 8 hours. That's not.
This is
like,
the mobile
healthy
game blood.
Yeah.
The tactic comes back to bite them when they try to do this. They try and force more and more adherence to the game. You've seen that with like World of Warcraft and stuff, where they try and then it comes back because then people just get so burnt, and then once they start skipping, it just becomes easier to slide right out of the game.
It's fucking gross, and it's hostile to the users, and like you shouldn't reward that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that may be what I'm going through, is like kind of burning out because I'm used to playing so intensely, and now all of a sudden we have this like bad meta with no change in sight. None of the new cards have been very influential, and it's just, I don't know.
But it's never bad to take a chill few months toward a game. It doesn't mean you'll quit. Sure. I mean, so many people I see this, they're in this like binary ones and zeros mode where it's like they're either all in the game or they're out of the game. And it's like, I know moderation is so fucking hard. I'm the worst at it. I'm the absolute worst at moderation. But it is an option in game life.
Yeah, that's the only way you're going to stick around, really, right? Taking your foot off the gas is how you're going to stay instead of burning yourself all the way out. So yeah, I still love Snap. I'm still having some fun with it. We'll talk about that in just a second with Elixir. But it's really light right now. And I've definitely gone in cycles before where I have had lighter times and heavier times in Snap. And right now it's just the lightest light time I've ever had. And that's fine. There will be something that makes me excited. And if it's not before July, it will be in July when Nightmare drops. I'll be excited for at least a few days. I'm excited to play that card. Let's talk about this week's new card, Elixir. A 2/3 on reveal. One of your cards destroyed last turn gets revived here. Did you get him?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is that just assumed yes at this point? Because
I guess for now, at some point it won't be.
Mm-hmm. I know. I have maybe 12K tokens or something. Do I need to start? I've just been rolling the 5K pack every week, and it's like, do I need to strategize differently?
You probably need to start saving.
Oh no. Okay, I need to actually start thinking then. I just assumed it was going to even out. I'm like, I'll get more tokens when it comes.
If you're getting Season Pass and Gold Pass, I think it's enough to keep up with all the Series 5 cards. But now that we have Series 4 cards also, there's going to have to be some either paying more or strategizing more. It's something that I think is... I don't know if it's a miss with Snap Packs, but it's awkward with Snap Packs. As soon as there's a card you don't want, they get worse.
Yep.
Like if you skipped Elixir to pick and choose. Prodigy, it's like next week if you want Zorn, not that I think Zorn's going to be good either, but I know
I think Zorn's going to be good.
Okay, say Zorn's good, and you skip Prodigy and Elixir, it's like you only have a 1 in 3 chance of hitting Zorn.
Before we talk about Elixir,
Zorn
can I side tangent? Sorry, go ahead, finish your thought then.
I don't know. It's like once you skip one, the next card might cost 10,000 tokens, and then if you've skipped 2, the card you want it might cost 15,000 tokens. Then maybe you're stupid for not spending 6,000 for the sure thing, or I don't know, but it is going to feel worse once you have to start hedging and gambling, and I don't know. So I guess I've been getting every card just to free myself from having to worry about it. But like, I guess I am making trouble for my future self, which is not something I like to be in the habit of doing. I don't know. I should probably start skipping some, even though it's unpleasant and complicated. I don't know. It's just, Snap packs is still messy. Sorry for grabbing it. All done.
No, it was good that you did, because that's why I encouraged you, because mine is completely off the rails. I want to talk about Prodigy real fast as a follow-up, and also if you guys have any follow-up thoughts about Prodigy. But I was on ladder doing the thing I shouldn't do, which is just skip from deck to deck to deck, unsatisfied, unhappy, and not the way to climb to infinite. Right, like stick with one deck.
Shopping, yeah.
Just like, what's auto this? What's auto that? Anyway, and I played someone else who is doing Prodigy weekend missions or something. When they did, here's what they copied. Bruce fucking Banner. And then, like, they skipped it. And Bruce Banner was like, wobble, 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 Hulk. And then, like, right after that, Prodigy was like, wobble, 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 Hulk. And I was like, oh my God, I have to do that.
In the same turn?
What?
Was it in the same turn?
Yes.
That's a 1 in 9.
No, sorry, they didn't play Bruce, and then they played Bruce earlier, and then they played Prodigy on a different turn.
But they hulked out in the same turn.
I think
this
it was
went from like
even
a
after
5
they
power
played
lane
Prodigy.
to a 24 power lane.
Like they played
Or, well,
Prodigy on 4.
A second card there that allowed Prodigy to copy Bruce Banner, who I assume was the first card. So I guess there were more than 5. I don't know what your situation, what you were looking at, but yeah.
It didn't matter. The fun thing happened. I immediately had to do it. And like a high Evo is a great place for Prodigy. Fuck yeah, you want to copy a Cyclops that's special, or a Misty Knight, right? Which you're always looking for those lower cost cards with high value. So it's just
is
like
Misty Knight enough value to copy though? Like meaning, like, is it worth playing a 3/4 Misty Knight? Like, do you get excited about that?
Yeah.
It's not the worst if you have energy.
Right? The more cards you get out there that are benefiting from your skip of energy.
That's true.
Like, the better, right? Yeah. So, because it's like, I'm already planning on skipping that energy. So, value.
Wait, Lauren, are you pitching me Prodigy copying Evolved Wasp?
Absolutely not. I'm saying Wasp helps you place your Prodigy.
Okay. All right. I'm so glad I asked, because I was like, I'm sure that's not a great deal.
Yeah, and I was like, Evo gets to run a better Wasp, so.
You're right. I want to put Wasp in. The problem is, like, Surge goes in everything, especially if you're trying to skip energy. So it's getting tight. But maybe over She-Hulk. You put in and try some stuff. It's been fun though. There's just so many cards you want to copy, and it's like, ooh, I've never had 2 of this. Like, sometimes with an eco, but so yeah. Okay. Anyway, did you find other cool things for Prodigy? That like
I'm rooting for him. I'm still not seeing a lot of. I'm not losing to a ton of Prodigies. That might mean that nobody's playing him though. So maybe Prodigy has untapped potential. I'm still hopeful.
The problem is you're too smart. So a lot of the benefit of playing weird off cards and weird off combinations is other people are like, what? This isn't the millionth Thanos deck I've seen. How do I respond and react to this? But you're like, you know too much about all the cards, and you like.
I don't know. I think you're giving me too much credit there. I'm not so that hard to pull one over on. You
can't put one over on you.
You don't have to wake up that early in the morning to get the drop on Benny rolls.
You just have to stay up real late to get the drop.
Yeah, that works too.
Okay.
All right. Elixir?
Sorry, that was my Prodigy side tangent.
Do you have an Elixir not tangent to get us back on track?
Yes. So we are filming. We're filming.
I mean, we're not filming.
Yeah, okay. So we're recording this, like fairly soon after the card release. So I haven't got to play it a ton. What I did, because I was lazy and I knew I wasn't going to play it a lot, is I'd been playing Sauron Surtur, because I got Chibi Surtur. Because it looks like, I believe the joke I made was where the hell things are. It's so cute. And so I was like, I must play Surtur. And I have soft spot for Sauron as my first ever Series 5 card. So I was just like, and here's the thing, you get shanged a lot. And usually the strategy is like, but you can't shang all the lanes. I mean, with an absorbing man, you can shang 2. But try for 3, it's difficult. So, so I was like, wouldn't it be so fun? Because usually people shang you early when you're playing big cards like Starbrand early, because they're just like, let me just hit that right on a 4, right where it goes right in that energy curve. And I'm like, wouldn't it be so hilarious if they're like, if it just popped up right again, right behind you? So that's what I put in Elixir. And, it's fun. People don't expect it, Watch out for all the Cosmos out there. Thanos be playing Cosmos. That's why I usually just wait to pop they're always trying to get me, and it's like, haha, I waited for your Cosmo, you fool. Put my Surtur there. Okay. So that's all I've really done with Elixir. I haven't really seen a lot. I assume are people doing fire hair things? What are you doing?
I've seen a bunch of fire hair stuff.
I tried fire hair. I don't currently have a fire hair in any of my Elixir decks.
What do you Elixir?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Well, if we're curious, I don't really want to tell people too much about these Elixir decks because they're like, they're breaking even for me, but they are not coming out ahead on SP.
I mean, it's an elixir. You're still brewing it, right?
Yeah, these are works in progress. Maybe I'll tell you about one. I don't know. I'm playing a Dark Hawk deck with Elixir, and it's got my favorite Elixir target, and that's Cassandra Nova. Cassandra Nova is good to Elixir. Also, ever since Misery came out, I've wanted a reason for Misery and Cassandra Nova to be like good and appropriate and right. But like the thing is, all the stats live on Cassandra Nova and then she dies. So like, that's a really disappointing situation. But you do get to afflict the deck twice. And like, I was always like that part, that seems promising. That's fun. If only there were a way to like get Cassandra Nova back, and Elixir is that. I started building a Phoenix Force deck with that same idea, but I haven't even gotten the 12 cards ironed out yet. But there are 3 Elixir decks that I have been playing and testing, and the other 2 are a bounce deck and a straight up destroy deck that's like sort of like a stock list, just without like Deadpool stuff to make room for Surge and Elixir. The bounce deck also had some destroy
can
elements.
I ask, I'm curious about your destroy deck, because it is, unlike bounce, it is the deck I play sometimes. What are you looking to revive? Because like usually the way I play destroy, it is like Deadpool and X-23 and Wolverine and stuff that's not going to come back. So I'm just curious.
Oh, like usually a big Venom or a Carnage or something.
Okay, so just getting the double value out of the destroyer.
In the business of killing things even when they're big, play a Deathlock on a Venom lane, then like next turn, Elixir and whatever else business you're doing, maybe Killmonger or something. I don't know. It felt all right. I don't play a whole ton of Destroy, so I don't think I was like piloting it with, the most finesse or the best judgment, because these are decisions I don't have to think about very often, because mostly I'm sitting across from the Destroy. And the bounce deck, I don't know. I'll keep tinkering with. None of these decks seemed so bad that I'm sure there's nothing there. You know what I mean? But none of them seem right enough to share the full lists. But I will say I don't think Elixir is as bad as some people seem to think. I don't know what Elixir is good for yet. I'm not sure what the deck is that's gonna, what's the killer app that's gonna make people adopt Elixir. But I wouldn't be surprised if there were one. Elixir is good at Elixir's job. It does the thing it says it does. I mean, would it be better if it were an activate like the Datamind version? Yeah, probably. And I think maybe I fell in love with that version of the card, and I was not ready to fully abandon my hopes for it. But yeah, I don't know. I think there are reasons to be hopeful about 2/3 on reveal Elixir. It's a lot of stats. Like it's 2/3 that like barfs up a body, presumably of some substance, and probably has a cool on reveal or something. I don't know. Like I'm not sure that the best thing to do is Cassandra Nova, but like that really felt like something. If you manage to get the sacrifice spell on Nico on a Cassie, Like, like if Misery shows up, that's obviously cool and flashy. And like, I had a lot of people retreating when their last card had a full Selene worth of affliction on it, after I think that it messes with people's judgment, and maybe they think they're in a weaker position than they actually are. But I don't know. Maybe if the nicest thing you can say about a card is that it's contributing to a deck that tricks people into running away from games that they should probably win, I don't know. Maybe that's a bad sign. I don't know. So if you hate Elixir, that's fine. But I think maybe you're being closed-minded, and this could be a card with a bright future. I don't know. So I wouldn't regret picking up Elixir if you've done that.
I thought he was super fun, but I am not impressed at all in the matches I've played with him and against him. I'll say I got him in a Series 5 pack. And then I tapped to see what my goodies were, and there just weren't any. Like, Elixir
I had the
just
same.
Closed. And I've heard other people express that issue too, and I'm like, I'm sure I got the goodies, but like, it's possible I got 5,000 tokens. I don't track my currency that closely to know. Or maybe I just got some boosters, and I have no idea what card I got boosters on. I did go to my collection and sort by new, and it's like there weren't any variants in there. So who knows what I got? That's a bad place to have a bug, right? Like, don't you want players to be excited when they get a good goodie, and you're not giving them any, like, you're not letting them see that in the snap pack.
Yeah. This is like, I don't. There are a lot of things. It's like it's obviously like not like optically, like you want people to feel like happy about this change, this snap packs. That you don't want them to feel like they're getting less than they're actually getting. Like, honestly, I don't know. It's a goofy thing to be getting wrong.
So Glenn said in a team answer that Activate Elixir was too strong. I think he said way too strong.
Yeah.
Which, like, that's not super... I mean, it's a little surprising to me, but not super surprising to me that, like, reviving a card on the same turn that it destroyed is good.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the last turn thing is really awkward with Elixir. And I've seen people talk about some different fixes. I know it's only been a couple days, but one of them is is for it to be targeted. So it's like the highest power card destroyed last turn, which definitely would have helped me in at least one of the matches I played, because Elixir revived the hood. Thanks, buddy. There were two other targets and he picked the wrong one.
May I briefly interrupt? I remembered one fun thing that I did with Elixir that I think you would like. Okay, so in the Darkhawk deck that I mentioned, one of the fun things you can do with Elixir there, in addition to the Cassandra Nova thing, is you can play an early Mystique and then kill it and then resurrect it to be Darkhawk on the last turn.
Yeah.
That's cute. So
I love using
that's the thing that
Reveal.
I've been doing. Just not very often and not very consistently, and not, to great efficiency and effect. I don't know.
Yeah, you're saving one energy, but definitely catching them off
but like
guard.
it's like sometimes you can play Mystique early and you're like, I don't know when that's gonna come in. I'm not saying it's like great, Vormir. I'm just saying there will be times when you just have a Mystique and it dies, and then you can time it out to resurrect the next turn. And wait, can you?
That's got to be really close.
Yeah, I think I had like extra energy or something. There was something weird going on.
To play Darkhawk and Elixir like on the same turn. That's
Oh, and I've got Surge in the. Well, I don't know. Something weird was happening, but I did it once or twice, and I was like, I should tell Lauren about that. And now I have. So
I like using Mystique.
And the listener knows too.
Speaking of on reveals, I was like, have you tried Grandmaster for Cassandra Nova? Like, that seems
I've done that too.
I realize he's not as powerful as what's her name? Misery, but he's also too cheaper. Okay, cute things I did with Elixir. One, if you have Firehair on the board and Elixir dies, she can... Somehow she revived Elixir. How did I do that? I don't know how I did that, because...
Maybe copies? Do you think maybe you had multiple copies or something?
I do have Phoenix Force in this deck, so maybe Phoenix Force made Elixir, and then Elixir brought something.
I mean, there are like a million locations that could have like allowed something wonky to...
Somehow, Firehair or somebody brought back Elixir, and then Elixir brought back somebody else. Anyway, I thought Phoenix Force would be a fun place to put Elixir. And also Atuma, I think, is interesting with Elixir.
How has that worked out? I never even finished getting.
Yeah, I've only played 5 matches. I lost them all, but they were super fun. One of them I only lost by 1 point because Bullseye's a bastard. I had like a 15-point lead in this lane.
How frustrating.
I felt very clever about how many demons and stuff I stacked up on Atlantis, and then I dropped a Venom and still took me by 1 point. Yeah, doing Firehair and Phoenix Force shenanigans alongside Elixir has been very fun. Don't know if it's any good.
Yeah.
I think
I ran with Firehair for a minute. I don't know. I was skeptical, but like I wanted to believe, but it just wasn't working for me.
If data mines are to be believed, then I believe Kid Omega is coming next month. And he is the 2/2 activate, destroy the next card you play this turn to gain its power. That's going to play really nice with Elixir.
Do we really think that card is coming out like that? It seems very strong.
They don't usually change them on this short of a timeline, but I guess it's possible. It does seem really good, right? To destroy something ahead of time.
Yeah, and like just to get all the stats and like just and it's an activate, right? Like everything. I don't know. Seems very, very foolproof and very easily like you can like I don't know. I can think of multiple ways to get ahead with this card, and I'm sure I'm not thinking of all the best ones.
Anyway, I think like Elixir and Kid Omega, they're from the same season thematically, and I think we got them data mined at the same time. So they were designed together, and I'm sure that interaction was part of how they came up with. Why
this is an on-reveal?
Part of the reason why Elixir was too strong, yeah.
I still think that's going to be a great combo, though, even with this on-reveal. And, I mean, the other one's got to activate for now.
Yeah.
I like on reveal better. I like to sneak up on people. I like it when they see it coming.
I like on reveal better too in general, but this card with the last turn like requirement, it kind of is a activate. I mean, not exactly, but it's got that like awkward timing element.
Yeah.
But its on reveal is very limited and like unwieldy in a way that like less restrictive on reveal just isn't. Less restrictive on reveal is such an asset. And anytime snack, oh yeah, I love those.
And it's got that problem that many twos have, and basically every one, where it's like there are some that you could hold to the last turn, but it's usually worse to do so. He's the same way, where it's like his ability is better on the last turn, but there's this huge opportunity cost for saving a 2 for the last turn. And
I found that the games that I won were generally games when I played Elixir before the last turn. That's, I don't know. I think Elixir is maybe more effective and reliable as a less ambitious piece of your plan, you know? Like the less you ask of Elixir, the less you'll be disappointed. So
it's most cards,
but like
right?
if Elixir revives a 6 power card, you played a 2/9. That's pretty cool, you know? Like it doesn't all have to be like fireworks and earthquakes. I don't know.
All right, so that was Elixir. We're going to talk really briefly about the global bounty, which is what they're doing instead of the limited time event. I think our first one was January-ish, where we got the Null and the X-23, and we just got every prize. And so this time they made a big deal out of having a stretch goal. It's something that we're really going to have to work for. Anyway, there's a list of cards, I don't have it handy, where if you win a game, you contribute a point to the global score, but you get an extra point for every one of the target cards you're playing with. And it's like all the new cards plus a handful of old ones. I think maybe Wolverine and X-23 are in there.
Yeah. Thematically new X-Men characters, you know.
Thank you.
Beast, you know, I think he's on the list, although in New X-Men he looked very cat-like, and I don't know if there's a variant of New X-Men Beast. There probably is. I probably just don't have it, but I don't know. I'm just saying, like, the list, you don't have it readily available, and nobody had it readily available, actually, because they didn't do a great job of telling anyone.
Yeah, it took them like 3 days.
Everyone's playing Surge anyway.
Yeah, right. So some of the points are just coming anyway. But it's supposed to be May 12th to 26th. And the final stretch goal to get everybody a collector's Series 5 Snap Pack is for 40 million wins. And they just posted on their Twitter yesterday, this is the 20th, that we had hit 15 million. To be on track for 40 million, we should have been at 32 million. Like, we're not getting the Snap Pack unless there is a huge rally from the community, and I just don't see that happening.
I don't see that happening.
Well, I feel like that's their fault. They set it too high.
Yeah. They set it too high, and they communicated it poorly.
I mean, they communicated all right once they finally communicated anything, but they communicated late, I guess.
I've seen some sentiment that we're going to get the prices anyway, because if not, they have to admit that people aren't playing their game enough to hit the bounty.
Yep.
Which is kind of true about a bounty like this. Like, it's an awkward
true.
Goal to make, that you have to admit your game isn't being played enough.
But also, like, how did they know how much Marvel Snap is being played? Like, why would they set themselves up to fail like this? It does not speak to, like,
they walk out sadly on stage.
They had enough information to not set themselves up to fail in such an obvious and embarrassing way. Like, they had all the pieces. This is entirely on them. It's not the community's fault for not playing enough Marvel Snap. That's for damn sure.
Right. And there's no individual component either, which I think is probably part of it, right? Like there's no incentive for a single player to bust their ass towards 40 million, right?
Yep. You're not going to receive any recognition. Like, nobody's going to be like, and the top points earner was Jeff from California. Thank you, Jeff from California. Like, that's not happening. Like, you're going to be toiling in obscurity if you are in fact toiling to get us that Snap Pack or whatever.
Yeah. So it's a bummer. We're probably going to miss it. But yeah, it's cool Gambit and Wolverine variants. I won't use them. They're not my style, but they are cool.
They're all right. They're fine. In a shocking twist, I definitely misled you, dear listener, about Beast being on the list of bounty cards for this event. Should be. Had a very cool cat redesign, a whole different character look, but nope. Beast is not on the list. There are some Series 2 and 3 cards, but not Beast, apparently. Nope. So I apologize for misleading you. Also, good luck finding that list. Yeah. It's hard to find.
Like buried. Thank you for the semi-live fact checking. And now we will go on to the secret homework. Well, our side quests. First up, secret homework. Reassigned it this week. Take it away.
So mine was somewhat illy defined, but it was, I didn't say this when I said it last week, but like, I thought of this when I was taking one of my last walks in the lake before it got too hot, and I was looking at the reflection of the sunlight on the water, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is so beautiful. I could not make a shader that looked that good. It was my immediate thought. I'm like, oh, it's real. It's real beauty. And it reminded me how much of like, I was raised very sheltered, which I hate that term because it sounds like protected and really means more like controlled. And there are a lot of experiences I didn't have when I was young, and a lot of things I encountered for the first time in video games. And one of my larger shame stories of okay, I just have to say, I was like trying to delay. Okay. The first time I saw the California flag, I was like, oh, they designed it after Fallout. They're so amazing. California, they're so cool.
That's wild.
The person I was with just was like,
if these were refrigerator magnets, you could rearrange them into the truth.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot. I was doing faces. I forget we're mostly audio. And like, yeah, they were just like, think about it. I'm like, oh, in Fallout, they based the flag on the California flag. And it's like not the only time that kind of thing has happened to me. And normally it happens around few enough people that maybe I can make it disappear. And instead I've decided to tell more people. So that my shame may never die. And with that said,
I think it's very brave of you to
thank you.
Confront like moments of very understandable, it's like you got some things wrong sometimes. It happens to humans. I don't know. I struggle with that too.
Sometimes I get really excited about things before I learn how wrong I am.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you are assigning our new homework, Ben. So we will go next to Lauren, as is tradition and ritual in the Snap.
Oh, that was the homework for you. I thought that was the example. Okay. I don't know if you said what the homework was.
I segued so like amazingly. You didn't even know. You're like, it transitioned. It's story mode now.
Reed, what was
Describe
the homework?
Describe the assignment.
Oh, right. Okay, sorry.
It's all good. It was a very good story.
It was based off a poem. Good job, Brie. It's just one of those where it's like the exciting thing happens up front, and then they tell you how they got there. It's that kind of narrative setup. Planned in advance, for sure.
Clearly.
Yeah, there's a poem that always stuck with me. It's by Lillip Pharkin, and it goes like, they fuck you up, your mom and dad. They don't mean to, but they do. I think it's called This Be the Verse. I always forget the title.
That's
it's
what
just
you
the
said
parents fuck you up
last week,
poem.
and I think you were probably right the first time. That's my bad.
Okay, yes. Because the time I looked it up so I wouldn't embarrass myself. All right, so, and I was like, your parents do. They love you, but they fuck you up. And so do some of our beloved video games. With the weird stuff they teach us or spark deep desires to spark within us. So that was the homework. Hopefully it was kind of a weird one, so I feel bad if it was a struggle. But there we go. The assignment after the turn-in. Now to Lauren.
Okay, so Ree gave an alternate description last week, which was like, which video games have left you a little worse or different? And I really struggled to think of anything that left me worse or fucked up.
I'm like, wait,
I'm sorry.
This was the homework? This
You're
was
good.
the I feel confused and misled, but that's not terribly.
So I came up with.
I'm like, can I? I'm recalibrating my whole thing. Lauren, are you going through a similar?
Blame Lillip Pharkin. His poem should have been more specific.
Okay.
I have one very good example of how video games fucked me up. That's along the lines of Ree's. I don't know if I'll get into the rest of it because the rest of mine are all how they left me different. I wouldn't necessarily say worse, but things video games taught me. And that might get heavy.
The male gaze.
I'll give a warning if that happens. I might just avoid all that stuff because Ree's was pretty short and sweet, and I can keep mine too. First up, racing games. This is what fucked me up. Racing games, especially Mario Kart Double Dash and Mario Kart DS, because these are the last two I played before actually driving. So in video games, I'm a controller girly, console girly, couch video games. And the sticks, you can put analog sticks, halfway or whatever to turn more gently or aim more gently or walk slow or whatever. But who does that? Not me. Maybe sometimes when I'm sniping. Otherwise, no. So when I drive in Mario Kart, I'm full tilt, zero, full tilt, zero, full tilt. Like that's how I'm doing a gentle turn, is shifting rapidly between 100 and 0 on the stick to control my turn.
Reasonable.
Yeah, and if it's a tight enough turn, I can just go full tilt or whatever. But that's how I did it as a child. And so when I started driving, I was in the car with the driving instructor, and that's how I tried to turn the wheel. Kind of. I'm not full like that, but like it was really jerky. And I'm sorry for people who aren't watching right now. You can go back and watch that on YouTube if you want to see what I'm talking about. But basically, I was like trying to hit the perfect like control my path perfectly by doing that. And I'm sure this guy had never seen a student do that before. He's like, you don't have to do that. You can just smoothly move the wheel. And all of a sudden I was like, wait, I don't know how to do that though. And so I had to like so hyper focused on not jerking the wheel back and forth while I was turning, even though this is how I've always driven before in video games. Yeah, I think I'll avoid the heavier stuff, but to get somewhat heavy, I came up with The Sims and Pokemon as examples of games where I wanted to play women or play girls or create lesbian characters, and I was not allowed to create lesbian characters in my house growing up. And I shared a computer with my sister who would have told on me if I did create lesbians in The Sims. So I didn't.
Snitches get stitches.
Yeah. And then in all tabletop, imaginary video games, everything, I always wanted to play girls and women whenever I could. But my sister really razzed me about it. And so I would every now and then play a guy character to get her off my case. Anyway, years later, I'm playing Fire Emblem or some game, and I'm Googling something, and I end up in the subreddit Egg IRL. This is how I learned it was possible to be trans without realizing it. And it was like 4 days later that I was like, no, that's me. Like it resonated with me. It was, oh shit, oh fuck. So that is a way that video games left me very different. They led directly to my gender awakening. It was very, very obvious in retrospect. I just didn't have the words to know what was going on.
Oh, that's really awesome. And I know there's so many people, it's like they don't get the opportunity to be themselves because of where they live and other restrictions on them. And like online MMOs and stuff like that, allowing people to create their character, as who they're inside. It's really meant a lot to people. And people forget sometimes. I think I see a lot of criticism sometimes that it's like, oh, some people are too online, and they're too into these like shipping fandoms. Again, I'm not, land person, but like, I'm not that into romance. This is like the one place some people can be themselves where they can't in their daily life. This is one place they're accepted. This is the one place they have other people who are like them. So sometimes when it's like easy to be like, some people are too terminally online. And yeah, I know some people are. But like for some people, it's like where their tribe is and their actual real world malicious restrictions on, who they get to be, which is not themselves all the time. Anyway, so I think that's awesome that because video games so much, right, get like such flack for Gamergate, for all the like, I mean, it raised me. Like, internet forums raised me, and I was like the most toxic person as hell before I got into college. No, I really was. I was like, my gender is bad.
That's how the culture
like I was raised by gamers on the fucking internet as a teen. Like, you know what I mean? I had to spend my whole 20s like trying to fucking get past that. So it's like, yeah, games can do that bad stuff, but there's also some really good stuff that they do that should be celebrated. Okay, sorry to like soapbox and you're like,
no, it's fine. I had a Star Wars Galaxies that was an MMO character who was a beautiful Twilight, rocked red armor and red robes. She was a creature handler / bounty hunter. She was a badass, and I realized like I don't know, a dozen years later that she had my initials. Like, didn't do that on purpose, but here we go. And I don't want to like, we should all be encouraged to play video games with protagonists of all types, different genders, different races, different species, whatever, right? Video games it's just a medium. It's a beautiful way for people to tell stories. It's a great way to have empathy. Like, so I'm not saying if you play female characters that doesn't mean that you're necessarily a woman. But for me, that's why I wanted to play girls and women, is because those were the characters that I felt represented me the best. Those are the characters that I connected to. Ben.
All right. Well, I really struggled with this assignment because, like, I don't know. I'm mostly with games. I try to be very deliberate with how I engage with them, and mostly, I gotta say, I think I'm mostly doing healthy stuff on purpose and all that.
What about as a child?
But that's the thing. I was like, what as a child? I don't know. Like, here's the thing about games. I don't know if you can tell. I love them just so much. All kinds. I study them. I take them apart. I want to know what's good about them. I want to know what's good within them. I want to know how things work, from all sides and all the angles and things. And like mostly, I think the way I engage with games is like beautiful and good, and I'm proud of it. And it's like mostly a mostly 10 out of 10 would play again, or for my part in them. Not every game is 10 out of 10 and deserves to be played again. But I mean, like, I don't know, the way I game, I mostly like. But I do have some like, for instance, this being like raised by gaming culture. When you started talking about that, it very, very nicely dovetailed with one of the games I had thought about mentioning, and that was StarCraft. And StarCraft is all fine when you're playing it by yourself against the computer, but then you get on the battle.net, and like, oh my gosh, if I didn't just like, it was like meeting, like, it was just my first time encountering all these attitudes and behaviors that now I just see everywhere, like to a, I don't know, sort of horrifying extent, honestly. Just like it was just like the first time I was encountering just certain kinds of like gleeful callousness that I just like. I mean, I'd seen flashes of it in the real world with like, children and stuff, but like, gosh, there was something ugly there that was just like fermenting, and it was, I don't know. Yeah. But playing StarCraft online was just like pretty eye-opening, and like not in a great way. And I think it made me feel like I had to, like, I was the weird one for like not being comfortable with these kinds of speech and these attitudes and stuff. And those I was right, actually. No, that stuff does suck. It's bad. It's not good. Yeah. So there's that. I also, as with anything that you just like, you love a whole ton, there will always be like questions of like moderation and stuff. And I don't know. I'm sure at times I have gamed immoderately. And I think that especially like when I was a kid, like I've mentioned that I was at first prohibited from playing like any game that was like just like for fun. Everything had to be, educational and like, the order of the day was like betterment or whatever. But like, like once I finally was allowed to like play fun games and things, like I just, oh my gosh, I remember like the first time I was playing those Pokemon Red and Blues. This would have been like at other kids' houses and stuff, and I was just like wild for these things. And like my friends would let me like start a new game on their cartridge, and I wouldn't be able to save or anything, except one time I did accidentally save, and that's how you know there's a true friendship, because I deleted my friend Garrick's whole fucking Red version, and it was his birthday, and we are still friends.
Oh no.
But like, oh my god, that should tell you something about Garrick. Fantastic human being. But like once I finally did have a Game Boy Color of my very own, and had a Pokemon and stuff, like, oh, y'all know I was waking up in the middle of the night to sneak some extra fucking Game Boy time that was super not allowed. Like, but I was doing that with like all kinds of games. I was doing that with Civilization 2. I was doing like, I don't know. So like, I guess maybe it's always been unhealthy, but like, it's also kind of like, it's what I do, and it's like, it's what I'm passionate about, and what I, like, I really have like studied pretty hard. Like I've accumulated a lot of, understanding and expertise, and I can apply the things that I've learned about games and from games to, stuff in other contexts. And mostly I'm pretty happy with what gaming has done for me. But sure, yeah, I can totally see how like it has changed me, and not all of it has always been great. But yeah, mostly it's pretty good. There is one game that I had to like, I sort of walked. I guess like as far as games I've had to like put down for like reasons of like I didn't think they were making me happy or whatever. I used to play the computer version of Blood Bowl, the tabletop
I know that game.
Football game.
That's old school.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. In my hometown, there's a very active Blood Bowl community, and I was. It felt like a way that I could like sort of like be close to the people that I was not around anymore and stuff. But like, I found the game a little frustrating, and like you'll want to like play one more game, but like bad things can happen when you're playing one more game. You can, your players can get permanently injured or dead or whatever. And like, like I just realized that the way that I was playing it wasn't always making me happy. And so every couple of years I'll have a little Blood Bowl phase, and I'll get back in, and like I'll play for a few weeks, but then I dip back out, because like it does. I've noticed that one, as fulfilling as it sometimes is when it's going well, like when it goes like badly, like sometimes you get frustrated with the decisions you've made and like that. So yeah, I guess that there are some games that I'll step away from, because I don't think it's like going healthily, I suppose. But yeah, mostly I think I'm pretty successful at navigating these waters, and I really had to think about it very hard, because it was such a deep prompt. It's like, whoa, what?
I loved it.
I'm sorry, so I did a bad job.
I really tried to like be like thorough and consider all the angles. But yeah, mostly I'm proud of the way that I have gamed in my life.
I loved the prompt. I admit it reduced me to tears, but I loved it. I thought it was great to go through and think about.
Yeah, I like tears.
Ben, new homework.
Yes. Yes. Oh man. Also, if we ever want to do more secret homeworks, in that I thought of more interesting stories that maybe I could share. I don't know. But let's talk about my secret homework assignment. So sometimes I think of them right on the fly. Sometimes we start recording and I don't have a good one, but I had a good one this time. And I was excited to start listing examples, because like once I tell you what the assignment is, you'll know exactly what's up. And I don't think I need to list examples. And if I did list examples, I would be sort of narrowing the. If I started, I want to see your designs of some of the examples I would list. So I'll say maybe one of the things that inspired this assignment was I haven't seen any trailers for this new Superman film, but I've seen this still image of Superman and Crypto, the super dog. And okay, I'll just cut to the chase. Like, design for me a pet card, a card of a character that is a pet, like Crypto, the super dog, or like certain iconic Marvel pet characters that are obvious and low-hanging fruit, but that I still want to see you design cards for. So I'm not going to say any of the ones that we're all thinking of. And I can think of at least 3 absolute icons. So I think we're going to be okay. But like, yeah, we all love pets. I actually didn't. I did not used to be an animal person, but now I am an animal person. Mm-hmm. That's neither here nor there. But like, yeah. I'm wild about the little creatures now, and I would love to see some card designs for the most wonderful little creatures, the furriest friends in the Marvel universe. They don't have to have fur; they can have scales. I've already picked out which one I'm going to do. I haven't designed the card yet, but I'm like, I picked one that would be recognizable for the listeners, but that I don't think either of you are going to pick.
No,
so
I picked mine.
If there's a really obvious one that you want to pick, you can pick it, because like I there are a couple of icons that I'm just like, go ahead, you can have them.
If you have already picked yours, you could just tell me and I'll pick something else.
All right, I'll tell you.
You never have heard of mine.
The listener will be in suspense.
This is very timely, actually, because Marvel has been like super pushing pets. Like, part of it's the success of Jeff the Baby Land Shark, but they're like, oh, like cute shit will, cute animal shit will sell, and now it's just like pets in the comics.
Is there Pet Avengers or something going on right now?
There's a new I think it's just called Marvel Pets. I forget, but they have that, and it's Jeff the Baby Land Shark Week. There is a title. They've just been putting out a lot of like titles based around the pets.
Got it. Well, listener, if you liked what you heard, find us on Twitter, YouTube, wherever you listen to podcasts. Like, comment, subscribe, leave a review on iTunes or Spotify, etc. If you want to come hang out with us on Discord, there are instructions to do. Oh my goodness, I said that last week too. Instructions to do so in the video description or show notes. We're part of the Snap Judgments Network, where you can listen to other great shows like The InfiNOT by Kier Nimbus. It is a short, casual-leaning podcast that releases on Saturdays. I have found it very enjoyable to listen to, and if you need your Snap news in a short format, that's a great way to do it. Anyway, to hear about our awesome pet cards next week, tune in. Same Snap time, same Snap channel.
Okay. Sorry, so while we're talking about pets, can I tell you something I'm very excited about?
Please.
Okay, so for my birthday, I won't lie, this birthday was kind of about, so, I feel like it's not like I don't like to complain. I mean, I do constantly complain about my childhood, but it's not like, I lived in like a crack house or something, like I was fed and clothed, but I didn't have a really happy childhood. I was not allowed to, mostly play with things I liked or get things I wanted. And a lot of it, honestly, was just feeling shame from religion for not being the way I was supposed to be. I think I was too. So this birthday, for some reason, it's like I've been giving my childhood self back my whole adult life with like video games, right? Because when I was a kid, all I ever wanted, I'm like, console. At birthday, Christmas, at the top of every list, I was like, I want the console, I want these games, and my parents are anti. So like my whole adult life, it's just been feasting, for childhood in that way. But I never let myself, I don't know, there's a lot of other things. And it's like I can't, go back and change the actual big important things about my childhood, but I can give myself some things I never had and make myself happy. So that's what I did for this birthday, is because I care less and less about the judgment of other people. I got myself something I also always super wanted as a kid. I got a sea monkeys kit. And it's set up. I can't show you because it's like, it's right. I guess I could pick it up, but that seems super dangerous.
Take a picture for the Discord.
Yes, I'll take a picture. It's this
not urgent,
magic
but,
castle.
They'll want to see it.
It's the Magic
That's
Castle
amazing.
Sea Monkeys tank. It's a little dome, and I've with my adult knowledge as a kid, I definitely wouldn't have kept them alive, or nor had the resources to do so. But I've got all the things, an extra. I did the research, a little heater, and I did it on Sunday. And I was looking. I'm like, no babies. It said 24 hours. Now it's been 36. No, but now there's a bunch of little babies swimming around. They're really tiny. They're basically commas with little arms, but they move, the way they move through the water is so jittery. It looks like stop motion. It's adorable. It's my own claymation Magic Castle show. I love it. I'm so excited for them to get there. Okay. Anyway.
That's awesome. I love that you're treating childhood.
Yes.
Do you have to wear a tie to go to the Magic Castle? Your Magic Castle?
No, my Magic Castle?
I think that's a requirement.
Sometimes we like a nice, stylish tie with a fedora, especially if you're cosplaying Howard the Duck or something, you gotta look snazzy.
Somebody is either loving the thing about the Magic Castle, or they're angry at me for being wrong about that detail about the Magic Castle, but I do think you need to wear a tie to get in.
Oh, the venue, Disney Magic Castle?
No,
I was I never put it together. What?
Magicians?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yes. Yeah.
Okay. I think there's an oddly strict dress code, and that's the detail I know about it. That's what Beast looked like in New X-Men. Look at that. Look at that kitty man.
Oh, do I gotta pull up my Discord?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, he was like a full
Yeah,
ass
he had like
lion.
a whole fucking character redesign. It was like, it was a whole thing.
Beast has had so many weird storylines. Like, there's the time he pretended to be gay so that, like,
What?
gay people could have a hero. Because we don't have other actual gay mutants.
What?
That's so creepy.
That was the storyline for Beast. Yeah, like, someone incorrectly dubbed him gay, and he's like, let them say I'm gay so that they can have, like... And it's cool, because, like, who cares? Like, you know, like... what people think, but it's just like this is such a weird storyline. Then there's the time where they're like, Jean Grey's been like with everyone else in a love triangle but Beast, so like let's have them like have a thing now. And then there's the time and then he went evil and now he's back from being evil. Like
There is a new X-Men one, by the way.
there needs to be a stinger for like the X-Men are fucking weird. Like the X-Men are fucking weird. Okay. Sorry, I don't know.
Yeah, that is the design. Yeah.
That almost deserves to
Okay,
make
so there
it
is
after
indeed
the
a
credits.
variant.